Hello, my name is Frank Peters, and I'm speaking today with Stan Winokur, who is not only one of the authors of an essay in the book The Big Casino, but he also initiated the book, and I'm going to speak to him about both today. Welcome, Dr. Winokur.
Thank you very much.
I would like to start with your essay. It's called Gratitude. We'll go into the title a little later, but you described the case of Joan. Can you tell us about Joan?
Joan was an amazing lady. She came to see me with the diagnosis of a rare type of ovarian cancer, and this particular patient had been treated before with different medications and was not responding, and she was dying. And she had a baby, and she was young, and so that tears at your heartstrings, and I didn't know what to do. And at the time, there had been some tremendous progress made in the treatment of cancer of the testicle by Dr. Larry Einhorn, and actually converted incurable patients to curable patients. And no one had done any work in the area of ovarian cancer using this particular regimen. I didn't know what to do. So I said, these were all approved drugs for, in those days you could use drugs for anything as long as it was approved. So I said, let's try it for ovarian cancer. I didn't have any expectation. And she had cancer in her lung, and she had some problems in her abdomen. And we gave her the chemotherapy, and lo and behold, everything disappeared. I was just, elated. And everything turned to joy. Yeah. And she kept on the treatment for about 3 or 4 months, and there was no evidence of any cancer. And so we decided to stop the treatment, and time went on. And as a result of that, she was able to enjoy her life for an extended period of time. It turned out that the cancer started to regrow. I started the same chemotherapy back again. This time it worked very little or not at all. And I had developed a personal relationship with her and her family. And I remember distinctly walking back down the hall, and I came to that room. And when I came to the room, her chart was on the door, and I pulled out the chart, and then I knocked on the door. And when I knocked on the door, I started to cry. And I looked at her, and she looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No." And she thought that something else had happened outside of the room. And she said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I don't have anything left."
I can see that it still gets to you.
So when that happened, she said, "Come here." And she put her arms around me, and she said, "You're going to be okay." And I just said, "I'm sorry, I wish I had more to do." And she said, I'll never forget, she said, "Have you ever seen the tulips out in front of your office?" And I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." And she said, "I've seen them twice for 2 seasons, bloom." And I stopped crying, and she said, "Everything is okay." She said, "This has been the best 2 years of my life." And I am so grateful for the time I've been given. And what came up for me was the fact that here was a patient who was grateful for the time that they had. And I was feeling a sense of loss, in the sense I didn't want to lose the relationship, but I also felt a sense of failure. And she was taking care of me. Here the patient is taking care of the doctor. So that has stuck with me. That was well over 20 years ago. And I think what she taught me was the gift of gratitude. Be grateful for everything you have. So that's why I wanted to share that story, and I called it Gratitude. She gave me the gift of gratitude.
Thank you so much for sharing this open, honest, and also emotional story with us. And thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you.